Hello and welcome to Bloomberg. Quinn, Agam and I are here to wrap the markets for you. It was really a day of consolidation for the Indian market. So if you really look at the Nifty, it continued to hover around that 8650 mark throughout the day. So it opened higher but then inched lower during the day. In the last hour of trade, it did make an attempt to really enter into the green territory, but finally ended with a loss of about 18 points for the day. So not much happening as far as the larger benchmark index was concerned. Agam, what are you picking up from the F&O cues?
Well, quite naturally, following a day of consolidation, we have seen marginal changes in the benchmark indices and its respective futures, both for the Bank Nifty as well as the Nifty. With respect to the India Volatility Index, of course, that also hasn't seen much change. It's just moved up by as much as 0.5%. With respect to what's happened in the options market, we are looking at, once again, a lot of activity in the 8600 call as well as the puts. So we have seen further writing in the 8600 puts and some amount of unwinding in both 8500 and the 8600 calls. Coming back to open interest, well, we have seen 8600 now start to catch up with the 8500 put with respect to the lower end of the range. But as far as the upper range is concerned, while we have some amount of resistance provided by the 8800 mark, it's the 9000 call which will determine where we are looking at as far as the Nifty goes with respect to this series. But of course, Idea Cellular doing very well among the Nifty gainers today.
That's correct, Agam. So if you really look at the Nifty gainers, as you mentioned, Idea, that's gained as much as 5% today. So that has been a stock which has really been underperforming. Usually the stocks which are not really doing well or have been underperforming in the recent past, like BHEL, Tata Power, they also rose as much as about 3 to 4%, followed by Wipro, and even some of the pharma names like Lupin, Sun Pharma and Dr. Reddy's were seen gaining strength today. On the losing side, you have ICICI Bank, so that's our profit booking after 3 straight sessions of gains that we saw for the bank after the SR deal. There was also ITC. That stock was under pressure as GST neutral rate discussions go on. Just yesterday, the Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhya said that a cess on tobacco could actually be used to compensate the state. So that's a negative development. High cess. That's where the fears for ITC came, and in fact, Agam, even a stock like Godfrey Phillip, one of the smaller names, was actually seen under pressure. That also fell about 3% So that's as far as your Nifty movers are concerned. But tire stocks were seeing some profit booking today, Agam.
Yes, we're actually looking at a lot of volatility in tire stocks, and surprisingly so, because we're expecting rubber prices to also remain volatile, considering the latex collection activity has begun. But let's take a look at the Nifty 500 and the big movers and losers there. I'm going to start off with the losers, and as Shraddha has already mentioned, we are looking at some amount of weakness in the likes of Apollo Tires, which is here in the list, as well as Seat, but we are looking at substantial weakness in Emphasis, which has declined by 5.3%. Havells India also reacting to its earnings, declining by 5.3%, followed by Petronet LNG and Alchem Laboratories, each losing well over 4%. Let's consider the gainers as well. GM Financial taking cues from the other brokerage houses, now up 10%. Chambal Fertilizers, Igarishu Motors, as well as Kitex Garments also gaining well over 8%. So we have seen substantial gains as far as the mid caps concerned. And speaking about a gainer, we have a debutant in Endurance Technology. Now, it was an expensive IPO, but what we've seen so far is that if it's a good quality IPO which has good growth rates as well as good return ratios, well, it's always been rewarded, and that's exactly what we saw today. The issue price for Endurance Technologies was at 472. It listed at around a 21% premium to its issue price, and it is currently trading at about a 38% premium to its issue price. So we have seen very, very good gains, and certainly good gains for people who have been allotted that particular IPO. So it's been a good listing for Endurance Technology. But as far as tomorrow goes, Shraddha, big earnings tomorrow.
Yes, in terms of the biggest earning, of course, it's RIL that usually used to be a stock which used to move the index. So Reliance Industries is what you're looking out for. Yes Bank, that's another Nifty component which comes out with earnings tomorrow. That apart, we have Biocon, Syngene and LIC Housing Finance. So there are some of the bigger names. Just want to run through what we're expecting from Yes Bank. Right. No, really, not too many surprises expected. Yes, Bank has continued to do well in terms of its earnings performance, so that is expected to continue. The trend is expected to be seen in this quarter also. So just about the key numbers, net interest income is seen at about 1389 crores, so growth of about 25%. A similar sort of a growth in net profit, so net profit seen at about 757 crores. So nothing really to look forward to, or really surprising that is likely to come in from the Yes Bank numbers. They've continued to grow about the 25-30% mark as far as the loan growth numbers are concerned. Net interest margins could see a sequential improvement given that the cost of funds have fallen, plus the retail share continues to rise. That apart, asset quality also, when it comes to asset quality, Yes Bank has been one of the outperformers.
Right.
They've done better than most of their industry peers, so there also we're not really looking at any key concerns.
But Yes Bank has moved back to almost the levels around 1300. Of course, its life highs is somewhere well over 1400. What in the result do you think which may disturb the stock price?
Agam, I think more than the earnings, I think people will be looking out for commentary from the management in terms of the capital raising plans, given the failure of the QIP. So I think that is something that we are going to be looking out for. That apart, yes, if there is any sort of a deterioration or any concern on the asset quality front, because that remains a risk given that the levels are that low. So that those two are the most important things that we should be watching out for. So that's as far as all your earnings are concerned. Do join us tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. where we bring you a detailed analysis of Yes Bank and Reliance Industries earnings if they're out by then. We'll see you tomorrow.